Hey, how's it going? Ron here, and I'm just going to talk to you quickly about why it's important to read, okay? Reading is the most important thing you can possibly do if you want to get ahead. And I always tell people, it shocks me how much people don't take reading seriously. They don't read every day, they don't read quickly, they read a book like once a year, and it's like some fiction book, and they kind of treat it as a joke, which is crazy because people want to be in shape, okay? People want a lot of money. People want to learn different things, but people don't want to work for it. Reading is, if someone spent their whole life doing a study on why it's important to do X, why it's important to do Y, why it's important to do Z, and they sell it to you for $5, why wouldn't you buy that? Okay, people are stingy with books, but they don't see the reward. Okay, I read like 3 to 5 books a week. Okay, and I read fast and I read quickly because I know that there is a benefit when it comes to reading. I know in the book there's something I can take from my life, from this guy who spent his whole life studying this one thing, and I can apply it to my life and I can succeed in whatever I want to do. People, they're always in, all right, let me give you a good example. Millionaire Fastlane, MJ DeMarco. There's 2 types of thinking. There's the process-orientated thinking and there's the event-orientated thinking. People love the event. People love seeing Bill Gates with the $70 billion. People love seeing the Bentley. People love seeing the Maserati. People love seeing the flashy stuff, the girls, all these different types of events, like the big scheme, but they don't like to see the hard work. They don't like to see the reading. They don't like to see the hours put in every single day, learning different things and trying different things out. People don't like to see that, okay? And one of the biggest distinctions between where you are now and where you are next year are the books you read, number 1, and the people you meet, okay? And the people you meet most likely are reading books too. So you need to be wary of this. You have to be reading books. I wasn't always reading books in my life. I'm just gonna give you a little bit of background about like how I got into the whole reading thing and how it affected me, okay? So when I was like 18 or 19, I went to university, okay? I went to Framingham State. It's a school in Mass, and I went there. This was like my sophomore year or something. And I never read books. I always just like, you know, I was a regular kid. I was pretty average. I would just, you know, go to school, go to work. I had a simple life. You know, I worked at FYE at the time, like $8 an hour. Go to work all day, get tired, go home, and just the same routine over and over again. I was stuck in this daily routine of just boredom, and honestly, deep down, I felt like if I kept going that route, if I just stayed in that routine, things were gonna be bad for me. I just pictured, like in my head, I started to form bad habits because I didn't know what to do. When you grow up with people who just drink to ease the pain, you know, in a poorer community, you drink or you smoke to ease the pain, this is what I was raised in. So that's what I identified with. I felt like kind of depressed, and I started to go that route. I started drinking every day. I started just doing things I didn't like doing. And I knew that if I kept going that route, I would be in a place I didn't want to be, right? And that is either mediocrity or even worse, alcoholism or just like a horrible, horrible path. And I knew I needed to do something. So what I did that day was I decided to look up books on like depression. I wasn't clinically depressed or anything like that, but I felt the same symptoms of somebody who might be depressed. So I picked up, you know, I Googled something about depression. I came up across some books. I seen Awaken the Giant Within by Anthony Robbins, 5 stars, other people liked it. I'm like, I don't really want to do this book shit, it's fucking stupid. But I said, whatever, I don't have a choice at this point. It's either that or fail out of school and just have a miserable ass life. So I bought the book and I gave it a shot. And surprisingly, the book gave me all the examples of how I was feeling. The book told me like, look, there's something called the Niagara Falls syndrome. You're gonna feel like you're gonna be going down a cliff, and it's because, you know, of all the bad decisions you make, and you can change those, okay? It talked to me about changing your state. Look, you could, you know, focus on different things, make different decisions, and choose the way you feel. You don't have to feel a certain way, you're choosing it. It's just a neurological thing, right? It taught me all these different things. And that was the first book I've ever read. And what's funny is after I read that book, I went back to my old friends and I'm chilling with them again. And they told me everything that the book talked about too. They told me, look, books are fucking stupid. How can another man tell you about your life? He's just trying to make money off of you. Books are like a waste. Like, you can't, only God knows, not an author. An author can't tell you about your own life. And they just made excuses, okay? The book tells me one thing. I tried it and my life was amazing. Ever since that day I read that book, I'm the same guy I am now. Literally from one decision. I've read almost 1,000 books since then. And literally the difference between me now and me then is just that knowledge, just from reading those books. And them, they didn't read it all. You know, they went to prison, jail, all this bad stuff. And I just had an advantage because I read different books. Okay, Sam Wiley, the entrepreneur, what did he say? He said, my secret to success is that I read a lot. Warren Buffett, he reads 8 hours a day, okay? Most people in high positions read a lot of books, okay? I think Carly Rae Jepsen, even her, she reads a ton of books, right? You can't fake it. You have to read. There's no way around it because, you know, reading is a shortcut. Reading is a hack. For $5, you can read something that someone spent years, literally decades writing, you know, researching, putting together. How much better would your dating life be if you read a book from Helen Fisher? You know, how much better would your life be with money if you read a book from Warren Buffett, you know, or The Intelligent Investor? How much better would your life be if you read Arnold Schwarzenegger's book, The Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding? But he lists all his workouts, everything, how to diet, how to eat, all his different stuff. How much better would your life be? But people don't see that, you know? People think the Kardashians are better, or they want to be on Snapchat, but they don't want to be reading. You're not gonna get ahead by fucking around and not reading and taking books seriously, okay? You're not. So whatever you're dabbling in, if you're bored or you feel stuck or you feel confused, just do yourself a favor and pick up a book, okay? When you're done with that, pick up another book. If I'm in a job interview with you and it's me and you, and I read a lot of books and I watched a ton of videos on that job, who do you think is gonna get the job more? If I know about body language, if I know about how to sell you through just books about sales, if I know about the psychology of consumers and the psychology of business, and I read a ton of business books from Jeff Bezos, books from Sam Walton. If I read these books and I'm sitting next to you, who do you think is gonna get the job more? You know, if I understand about incentives and I know that you gotta play to people's rewards and it's not about what's in it for me, it's about what's in it for them, and it's me and you in a job interview, who do you think is gonna get the job? I have a better chance of most likely getting the job, unless you have an in, which is very, you know, rare. If we're two separate people, two cold people, I have a better chance of getting this job than you because I've read, okay? Reading is the way of the future. Reading is important. People respect people with big libraries. Choose. Either have a big library or have a big TV. It's up to you. Hopefully that helped. Ron. Got my man Bruno. We're out here in the sun, just enjoying this. And I'll see you in the next video.